After Xiao Yan successfully broke through to the 5-star Dozuan, since Xian was in retreat, refining the residual energy of the Dragon Phoenix's original refining the residual energy of the Dragon Phoenix's immediately set off and returned to Xiao and Qinglin, and when Yao Lao set off and Xiao Yan's strength had not only increased greatly that Xiao Yan's strength, but also that he had a deep friendship with the Supreme Taishu Gulong, but also that he had a deep friendship. His face was also full of Gulong clan. Immediately, Lao Yao was also full and said that he also had good news here. Lao Yao related to the Jingli and said that he also had good news here. Xiao Yan's heart instantly surged with an indescribable pleasure. Xiao Yan's heart instantly surged. This third-ranked Jingli Demon Fire has always been a strange fire. This third-ranked Jingli Demon Fire has always been the strange fire he dreamed of. It would be possible for his strength to skyrocket to the peak of Dozuan. It would be possible for his strength. Could it be that the teacher couldn't get the last remnant picture of this? Could it be that the teacher couldn't get the last remnant picture said of this? Yao Lao shook his head helplessly, hearing what Xiao Yan said. How can it be so Yao easy? Lao shook his head. Although I didn't get the last remnant picture, how can it be so news related to it? Although I didn't get the last remnant picture, every few years in Zhongzhou, according to Yao special space fair. Every few years, and there will be some rare treasures. There will be a very special space, and even the legendary, and there will be some rare treasures on it. Therefore, even the legendary level of trade fighting is generally unknown to ordinary people. This level of trade after the old medicine generally inquired from many parties. Did he learn that the only after the old medicine inquired from many parties? Did he learn that the last remnant picture? But its owner seemed to know the origin of would also appear at the fair. So it was definitely impossible for Xiao to origin to pick up the leak as easily. So it was definitely impossible for Xiao Yan to pick up the leak. Is conceivable that the price of successfully getting it this time is conceivable that the price of successfully getting it this time Jingli and Demon Fire be small. Xiao Yan had been extremely coveted by Xiao Yan and Demon Fire. Xiao Yan had been extremely coveted by Xiao Yan. Now only one ancient map is needed to get the location of the flame. Now only one ancient map is needed to get the location of the flame. If he possessed, how could this make him give up Demon Fire? Moreover, Xiao Yan would be able to truly contend with Jingli and Demon Fire. In a product like Xiao Yan would be able to truly slap him to death. In a product, so no matter what method he uses this time, would be able to slap, he must succeed in getting it. So no matter what method he uses this time, somewhat he must succeed in getting it. Old medicine Xiao Yan's somewhat hurried appearance, because now there's less than a year to go before the space fair, which is held. Because now there's less than a year to go before the space fair. Xiao Yan frowns slightly every 10 years, because now he couldn't wait to set off. Xiao Yan frowns slightly again upon because now he couldn't wait to set off. Venerable Feng on the side jokingly said, "Seeing this, no way." Venerable Feng on the side jokingly said, "Let's see if you can get news of other. If you were in a hurry to need a different, or see who has a different fire. Let's see if you can get news of other different. I don't know which force on the mainland. Or see who has a different fire and has the most alien fire. I don't know which force on the mainland." Now, the power with the most alien fire in this world should be the Yin clan. The power with the most alien fire in this world should be Xiao Yan was also taken aback. Old medicine said, because he had never heard of this force. Xiao Yan was also taken aback, because he had never heard of the 8 ancient clans. According to Yao Lao, and its strength is far beyond one of the 8 ancient clans, and its strength is far beyond the so-called 3 Valley Sifong pavilions in Zhongzhou. 2 sects. There are 7 Valley Sifong like this. They are the ancient clan. There are 7 hidden forces like this. They are the Medicine Clan, the Thunder Clan, the Spirit Clan. The medicine names that he had never heard of before, and the Xiao Yan couldn't help hearing these names that he had never heard of before. Originally, Xiao Yan that couldn't help but take a breath was already the strongest. Originally, but he didn't expect that they were just one of the so-called ancient 8 races. But he didn't expect that they were just one of the so-called ancient 8 races. It seems that there are only 7 races. Then there's also an ancient race. It seems that there are only 7 races. The Xiao clan. There's also an ancient race that has been abandoned. Hearing this, the Xiao clan. The turbulent mood in Xiao Yan's heart has not subsided for a long time. The turbulent mood in Xiao Yan's heart has not subsided for a long time. Who only survived in a second-rate city, that the Xiao Empire, who only survived legendary second-rate city that even they themselves could not had such legendary origins that even they didn't know how powerful this so-called Xiao clan. Although Xiao didn't know how powerful
since it could be
this
juxtaposed
so-called
with
Xiao
forces,
was in
such
the
as the
distant
Soul
past.
Clan and
Since
the
it can be
ancient
juxtaposed
clan,
with
it was
forces,
natural to have
such
a
as the Soul
monstrous
Clan
power.
and the ancient
According
clan,
to Yao Lao,
it was natural to have a
Clan
monstrous
also once
power.
had a duty.
According to Yao
So the
Lao,
descendants of this
the Xiao
line
clan
also
once had a
duty.
duty.
But this kind
So
of
the descendants
bloodline
of this
was
line
completely
also
used
have
up
the blood
by
of duty.
Xiao Yan's
But this kind of
ancestor,
bloodline
Xiao
was
Yan,
completely
when he
used
reached the
up by
generation of
Xiao Yan's
ancestor,
Xiao
Xiao
Yan.
So
When he
today's
reached the
Xiao
generation
family
of
will
Xiao
gradually
Yan's
decline
ancestor,
here.
Xiao Yan.
Although for so
today's
many
Xiao
years,
family
the
will
so-called
gradually
duty
decline
bloodline
here.
has
Although
not played a
for
role
so many
in
years,
Xiao Yan's
the
body.
so-called
He believes that with his
bloodline
current
has
strength,
not played a role in
even if he
Xiao Yan's
meets
body.
young,
He
strong
believes
men
that with
of
his
other
current
races
strength,
who have the bloodline
even
of
if he
duty,
meets young,
he can be
strong
undaunted.
men of other
Seeing
races who
Xiao
have the
Yan's
bloodline of
resolute
duty,
expression,
he can be undaunted.
Old Medicine
Seeing
also smiled
Xiao
with
Yan's
relief.
resolute
Because he
expression,
believed that
Old
perhaps
Medicine
the pinnacle
also
of the
smiled with
vindictive
relief.
continent
Because
in
he
the future
believed that perhaps
would
the
definitely have a
pinnacle
place
of the
for him
vindictive
as a
continent
disciple.
in the future
Why does the teacher
would definitely
know
have a place
so
for him
much about
as a
these
disciple.
ancient eight races?
Why does the teacher
This kind of
know
news
so
should
much
be
about
difficult
these
for
ancient
ordinary
eight
people to
races?
know. This kind of news
Xiao
should be
Yan asked
difficult for
suddenly,
ordinary
what does the
people to
teacher
know,
have to do
right?
with the
Xiao
so-called
Yan asked
medicine
suddenly.
clan?
What does
Hearing
the
what
teacher
Xiao Yan
have to
said
do with
there was
the
a slight
so-called
bitterness
medicine
on
clan?
Yao
Hearing what
Lao's
Xiao Yan
smiling
said,
face.
there was a
I am
slight
indeed a
bitterness
member
on
of the
Yao
medicine clan,
Lao's but I
smiling
belong to the
face.
kind that has
I
been
am indeed a
abandoned
member
by
of the
race.
medicine clan.
At this moment,
but I belong to the
Xiao
kind
Yan
that
was
has been
extremely
abandoned by the
shocked in
race.
his heart. At this
After all,
moment,
in his
Xiao
opinion,
Yan was
with the
extremely
old
shocked
medicine
in his
refining
heart.
talent.
After all,
there are only
in
a
his
handful
opinion,
of people
with
in
the old
Zhongzhou
medicine
who can
refining
match it.
talent. How could
There
this
are
kind
only
of
a
strength
handful
be
of people in
abandoned by the
Zhongzhou
family?
who can match
Yao
it.
Lao smiled
How could this kind of
slightly at
strength
this.
be abandoned
It turned
by the
out
family?
that in this
Yao Lao
ancient
smiled
family,
slightly
the
at this.
bloodline was
It
divided
turned
into
out that
ranks
in this
based on the
ancient
richness of the
family,
bloodline.
the bloodline
And the
was
bloodline
divided
in
into
Yao
ranks
Lao's
based
body
on the
was
richness
not
of the
only
bloodline.
negligible,
And the bloodline
but also
in Yao
failed
Lao's
at a certain
body
mission,
was not
which led to
only
being
negligible,
expelled from the family,
but also failed
after
in a
leaving at
certain
the
mission,
beginning,
which
the
led to
old
being
medicine
expelled
man
from
was
the
not
family.
convinced.
After leaving
he
at the
devoted
beginning,
all
the
his
old
energy
medicine
to
man was
refining
not
medicine,
convinced,
and then
so he
wandered
devoted
alone in
all his
Zhongzhou
energy to
for
refining
nearly
medicine.
100 years,
and then
before
wandered
achieving
alone in
something.
Zhongzhou
Lao Yao
for nearly
thought that the
100
clan would
years
summon him back
before
again,
achieving something.
but in the end he did.
Lao Yao thought
Later,
that the clan would
he
summon
gradually
back
forgot
again,
about it,
but in the end
never
he
even
didn't.
mentioned it.
Later,
Moreover,
he gradually
old
forgot
medicine's
about it,
close
and never even
relatives
mentioned
had
it.
already left
Moreover,
when he was young.
Old
So now he
medicine's
doesn't want to
close
return to the
relatives had
emotionless
already
medicine
left
clan.
when he was young,
And knowing
so
that
now he doesn't want to
Yao
return
used
to be a member of
emotionless
the medicine clan.
I am
knowing
afraid
that
that there are
Yao Lao
only
used to
some
be a member
people
of the medicine
clan
clan in the world.
I am afraid that there are
and even
only
the Soul
some
Hall has
people
never
of the
known
medicine
it.
clan
Hearing
in the
this,
world. Xiao
and
Yan was
even the
also
Soul
silent
Hall
for a
has
while.
never known it.
It seems
Hearing
that for the
this,
medicine clan,
Xiao Yan was
the
also
old medicine
silent for a
man
while.
is quite repulsive.
It seems that for the medicine clan,
otherwise he would
the
not
old
have
medicine
never
man
mentioned
is
it for
quite
so many
repulsive.
years.
Otherwise he would
Let's
not
not talk
have
about
never
it.
mentioned it.
As
for
far
so
as I
many
know,
years.
there should
Forget
be
it.
four kinds
Let's
of
not talk
different
about
fires
it.
in the Yan
As far
clan,
as I know,
of which there should be
two
four
kinds of
kinds of
different
different
fires
fires
are
in
among
the
the
Yan
top
clan.
10.
Hearing this,
Of which
Xiao
two
Yan was
kinds of
taken
different
aback.
fires are among the top
This was the
10.
first time he had
Hearing
heard that a
this,
force could
Xiao
possess
Yan was taken
so
aback.
many strange
This was the first
fires.
time he had heard that
According
a
to
force
Yao
could
Lao,
possess
in
so
addition
many
to the Yan
strange
clan,
fires.
the medicine clan,
According
that
to
is
Yao
good
Lao,
at ancient medicine,
in addition to the
refining
Yan clan,
also
the
possesses
medicine
two
clan that
different
is
kinds
good
of
at
fire.
ancient
And
medicine,
there are countless
refining also
powerful
possesses
medicine,
two different
refining
kinds of fire.
people in its clan.
And there are countless
However,
powerful
he
medicine,
told Xiao Yan
refining
not to
people in
worry
his clan.
too much,
However,
even if he met him in the
he
future.
told Xiao Yan
because
not
according
to
to
worry
the old
too
medicine
much,
man
even if he met him in the future.
the former's current
because
medicine
according to the old
refining
medicine man
technique,
speculation,
even among
the
the
former's
younger
current
generation
medicine
of the inner
refining
medicine
technique,
there will be no
even
more
among
than
the
5
younger
people
generation
who can
of the inner
surpass
medicine
Xiao
clan.
Yan. There will be
Hearing
no
this,
more than
Xiao
5
Yan
people
frowned
who can
slightly,
surpass Xiao Yan.
because among the younger
Hearing
generation
this,
in
Xiao
Zhongzhou,
Yan frowned
if there are no
slightly,
special
because among the
circumstances,
younger generation
medicine
in
refining
Zhongzhou
is his strongest.
If there are no special circumstances,
However, when these abilities
medicine
are placed
refining
in the
is his
internal medicine
strongest.
family,
However,
they can only be
when these
ranked
abilities
after
are
the top
placed in
5.
the internal medicine
It seems that this
family,
medicine
they can only
clan
be
is
ranked
worthy
after the
of
top
being
5.
a medicine.
It seems that this
refining medicine clan is worthy of being
although the Yin
clan
and the medicine clan have a lot of different fires.
Although the Yin clan
the old
and
medicine,
the medicine
still
clan
exhorted
have a
Xiao
lot of different
Yan,
fires.
that is best
The old
not
medicine
to think about
still
this
exhorted
aspect.
Xiao.
After
Yan,
all,
that
these
is
different
best
fires
not
have
to
been
think
passed
about this
down by
aspect
them
for
after
countless
all,
years.
these different
And they have
fires have
long
been
lasting,
passed down by them
extremely
for
powerful
countless
inheritance
years.
mark.
And they have
Even if you
long
get it by
left an
chance,
extremely
you can't
powerful
refine it and
inheritance
devour
mark.
it.
Xiao
Xiao
Yan
also
also
nodded
nodded
with
with
a
a
wry
wry
smile.
smile.
You can't refine
He
it
didn't
and
have the guts
devour
to
it.
hit the two
Xiao
races
Yan also
with his
nodded
ideas
with a
now.
wry smile.
After all,
He didn't have the
just
guts
one
to hit the
soul
two
haul will
races
make
with his
him
ideas
overwhelmed.
now. It is
After
not
all,
wise to
just
go to
one
more
soul
powerful
haul will
enemies
make him
at this time.
overwhelmed.
It seems that now he can only wait for the so-called space fair to begin. It seems that now he can only wait for the so-called space fair to begin. The space fair needs to wait. Old Medicine chuckled and you have to set off the space fair needs to the ancient world. But before that, you have to set off for a trip to the ancient world. Sun's moving cyan shadow. Hearing this in Xiao Yan's mind, his dark moving cyan shadow slowly emerged. According to Yao Lao, were also in another month, hot. It will be a bar mitzvah. According to Yao Lao, in another month, it will be a bar mitzvah. Most of the people who can be invited to participate are powerful forces. Most of the people who can be invited to participate are since Yao Lao had just broken through to the semi-holy level not long ago. Since Yao Lao had just he was also invited to join the semi-holy level not long ago. After that, he was also invited to join the Starfall made of black jade to Xiao Yan. After that, and only by holding this thing made a black jade to Xiao Yan. Originally, and only by this mission should have been carried out by Yao Lao on behalf of Xing. This mission, but in order to prevent the soul Yao Lao on dark from invading at any time. But in order to prevent the soul handed over the dark from invading at any time. It could only be handed over with the strength and fame of the latter now. It is completely enough to achieve the strength and fame of the latter now. Why do you have the guts to go? It is completely enough to achieve that qualification. Xiao Yan smiled. Why do you have the guts to go? Don't worry. Old Medicine asked. The teacher, Xiao Yan, the disciple will never lose the teacher's face. The teacher, I'm not worried about that. The disciple will never lose the teacher's face. You will start to leave in a few days. I'm not worried about that. I know the relationship you will start to leave in a few days. Xiao Suner. In addition, as far as I know the relationship between she has the most complete fighting emperor bloodline. As far as I know, ancient clan. She has the most complete fighting emperor bloodline. So it's not easy for you to want to be ancient clan. Hearing what Lao Yao said, so it's not easy for you to want to be silently. Hearing what Lao Yao said, he had noticed Suner's status among the ancient races a long time ago. He had noticed Suner's status among the ancient races a long time ago. There is no power in this world that can stop Xiao Yan's Suner. There is no power in this world that can stop him from being with Suner. Thinking of this, even if the opponent Xiao Yan's palm holding the jade post suddenly clenched. Thinking of this, Suner. Xiao Yan's palm I said that the next time I meet, post I must be in the ancient tribe. Suner. So I'm waiting. I said that the next time I meet, this time I must be in the ancient tribe, just in case. So I'm waiting for me. The old medicine this time I went to the ancient tribe to take His Holiness Tianhua. The old medicine little doctor asked Xiao Yan to take His Holiness Tianhua. This time I went, and the little strong men of the ancient clan. After all, this time I went so that they could take strong men of the ancient. His Holiness Tianhua, during the period when Xiao Yan went to the Tianhua, during the period when restored to the level of the 6-star Dozuan, with the help of the pill, restored to the level of the 6-star. As for the little doctor, with the help of the pill, he was arranged by the old medicine man. As for the little doctor immortal, he was arranged by the old medicine person. There is also the owner of the poison body. It is said that the buried person, and it is from there that the method of sealing the poison pill. And it is from there that the method of sealing the poison didn't have the good luck of the little doctor fairy. But it's a pity that this method didn't have the good luck controlling the poison body. Was only created when he was on controlling the poison body. Therefore, was only when the little doctor immortal is in his place of confinement. Therefore, he will get away to completely control the poison body. And then he will become the first person in history to truly control. And then he will become the first person in history. So right now, truly control. As long as they wait for the little doctor fairy to come out of the retreat successfully. As long as they wait for the little doctor fairy to come out of the retreat successfully. Hearing what Lao Yao said, it is time for them to set off for the ancient world. He didn't expect that the little doctor fairy would still have such miraculous. He didn't expect that the little doctor fairy in the next few days such waiting for the little doctor immortal. And in the next few days, was in a room waiting for the Xiao Doctor Immortal, planning to start Xiao Yan was in a room in Xingxiao. After all, the strength of soul power is related to the level. After all, the strength of soul power is related to the level of the so-called early stage. And since Xiao Yan's soul, it was because of the cultivation early stage vindictiveness that he hadn't paid. It was because of the cultivation of vindictiveness. Although his current level hadn't paid too much attention to it. Is enough. Although his current level of younger generation pinnacle pharmacist among the mysterious medicine clan, the younger generation, he can only barely squeeze among the mysterious medicine clan, younger generation. He can only these facts that came out of Lao Yao's mouth were undoubtedly a considerable pressure. That came out of Lao Yao's mouth. Moreover, undoubtedly he naturally understood that with the relationship between the old medicine man, he naturally understood that with the relationship that he will inevitably have to deal with those so-called. I am afraid that he will inevitably have to. So no matter what, so-called. He will definitely not be able to weaken the name. So no matter what, he will definitely not be able to weaken the name. Xiao Yan held a scroll in his palm by then, and a scroll appeared in his hand. Xiao Yan held a scroll in his palm, and this was the ancient soul cultivation technique appeared in his hand. Called Tai Soul. And this was the ancient soul Xiao Yan had rewarded. called Tai Soul Determination, that Xiao Yan had by a ray of soul when he won the Danhui Championship, slowly invading, accompanied by a large number of mysterious words floated in the depths of his mind. A large number of mysterious words floated in the depths. He was a little dazed when he was cultivating his soul, read it carefully, but now he was a little dazed when he was cultivating his soul. Xiao Yan was overjoyed, but now he suddenly opened. He saw all the energy surrounding heaven and earth slowly pouring into the center surrounding heaven. Feeling such a change, Xiao Yan was shocked, but also slowly feeling such a change. Is this the change? Shocked, after also slowly took a breath. It's no wonder that in those ancient times, having a complete alchemist would have. It's no wonder that in those ancient times, according to Xiao Yan, alchemist would have flourished if he continues to practice. According to Xiao Yan, I am afraid that it will not be long before his soul realm. I am afraid that it will not be long before his soul realm. In the days that followed, Xiao Yan was completely immersed in the cultivation of Tai Soul. Xiao Yan was completely immersed in the cultivation. A familiar breath finally appeared in Xiao Yan's perception. A familiar owner of that breath finally appeared in Xiao Yan's perception. Hearing the owner of that breath, Xiao Yan, the little Dr. Fairy, who was the first time he had heard that a force could possess, feeling the vastness of this breath. Even with Xiao Yan's determination, he couldn't help but take a breath of cool air. Is it so strong? After that, he quickly pushed the door out. Looking at the graceful figure standing in front of him, Xiao Yan couldn't help being startled, because the snow-like hair of the little Dr. Fairy was originally restored to its original appearance. What the other party looks like now is the little Dr. Fairy who saved lives and injuries in Qingshan Town back then. Seeing Xiao Yan's stunned appearance, the little Dr. Fairy couldn't help but cover her mouth and smiled. Why? Don't you know each other anymore? Your hair. Before Xiao Yan finished speaking, his gaze suddenly stopped on Xiao Yixin's forehead. I saw a complex lavender mark there. According to the little Dr. Fairy, the evil poison gas in her body is now turned into this rune. And it was precisely because of the condensed exercises created by the old-timer that she completely controlled the evil poison body and broke through its power to the 7-star Dozuan in one fell swoop. Hearing this, Rao Xiao Yan was mentally prepared, but he couldn't help but take a breath of cool air. You know, that's a complete improvement in the strength of Samsung or so. This situation made Xiao Yan, who had barely been promoted by 2 stars after devouring the different fire, feel extremely speechless. Are there few normal people around him? Why is it such a perverted cultivation speed? You must know that in less than a year, almost everyone has risen in strength. With the current lineup of these people, if they meet the 9 heavenly gods of the Soul Hall again, they will definitely be able to kill them. Although Xiao Yan was only a 5-star Dozuan, he was able to burst out with a strength that even a 6-star or even a 7-star powerhouse could not match. In addition, the venerable Qinglin and Tianhua, the 2 6-star Dozuan, and the little Doctor Immortal, the evil poison body that has reached the level of the 7-star Dozuan. Even if this lineup is facing the interception of the Soul Hall, as long as the opponent is not dispatched to the semi-holy level of superpower, their group is enough to get out of the whole body. After Xiao Yan gradually recovered from the surprise of the great increase in the strength of Xiao Yixian, he smiled lazily. Since you are here, then we should also set off. Regarding Xiao Yan's decision, Xiao Yixian smiled slightly and did not object. After all, in the latter's view, being able to stand silently behind the opponent and contribute to her is the happiest thing in her life. Therefore, the day after Zhu Yixian returned to Xingxiao Pavilion after a little rectification, Xiao Yan and the 4 of them embarked on a trip to the ancient tribe to participate in the bar mitzvah of the younger generation of the ancient tribe. The so-called entrance to the ancient realm is located in a city called the Ancient Holy City in the eastern region of Zhongzhou, which is quite far away from Xingxiao Pavilion. Therefore, even if Xiao Yan and others took the space wormhole, it took half a month to arrive. I saw that what appeared in front of everyone at this moment was an ancient city that was wrapped in a layer of transparent light as a whole. This layer of light may seem weak, but it gives them a sense of coercion derived from the soul. According to His Holiness Tianhua, this city was built by the powerful fighting emperor of the ancient race. And within that light, There's a trace of fighting emperor power, so this city could be described as solid as gold, as strong as soup. In order to show awe of the powerful duty, no one is allowed to fly within a radius of 1,000 feet of this ancient holy city. So at the moment, Xiao Yan and the others slowly lower their figures and then walk towards the gate of the city on foot. At this moment, at the entrance of the city gate, a group of figures dressed in black armor and armed with long guns are checking the strong people who want to enter here one by one. After all, if you want to enter this ancient holy city, it is absolutely forbidden to enter without the invitation of the ancient tribe. Although the procedures for entering the city are quite cumbersome, due to the tyrannical strength of the opponent, no one dares to go wild here. However, when Xiao Yan and his party arrived here, their eyes suddenly stopped on a familiar figure at the gate of the city. At the moment, Xiao Yan's pupils narrowed slightly, because this person was Ling Quan, the commander of the Black Annihilation Army, who had had several holidays with him. Xiao Yan didn't expect it. He had just arrived here and encountered this second product. This was really a narrow enemy. Just as Xiao Yan stared at Ling Quan, the latter also turned around as if he was aware of it. Ling Xuan's expression sank at the moment, and he immediately shouted coldly, "Xiao Yan, who allowed you to come here?" However, Xiao Yan ignored Ling Xuan's cold drink and immediately flicked his finger, and the jade sticker shot towards the former like lightning. But when Ling Quan saw that this thing was an invitation from his ancient clan, he suddenly said with disdain, "It turned out to be Xingxiang. How could such a powerful force receive an invitation from my ancient clan? It's clearly written in white and black on it. If you don't know it, go and ask the people of your ancient tribe to return the jade post." Hearing Xiao Yan's plain words, Ling Quan cheese-back teeth gritted, but he did not throw the jade post directly to Xiao Yan. Instead, he held the jade post in his hand so that Xiao Yan could come and get it by himself if he had the ability. Obviously, Ling Quan, this kid, wanted to use this to deter and suppress the opponent, but he obviously miscalculated this time. Because as soon as his voice fell, he saw the clenched jade sticker on his palm, and he instantly let go. When he recovered, he found that he had already fallen into Xiao Yan's hands. Such a sudden scene made Ling Xuan's old face instantly flushed. After all, he originally wanted to play around with each other, but now he has lost his face. Ling Quan, who was stunned by Xiao Yan's anger, immediately forgot his current identity and immediately drank in angrily and slapped Xiao Yan's head fiercely with a palm. However, before he could blast his attack on the opponent, Xiao Yan kicked him out directly. Ling Quan, who fell from the city wall, suddenly spurted blood. At this moment, his face was full of horror and disbelief, because when he met at Ye's house, his strength was still 1 star higher than Xiao Yan, but now he couldn't even see Xiao Yan's shots, and he was completely defeated. This extreme change made him arrogant by nature, and he suddenly had the urge to vomit blood. After all, it has only been a few years. He was regarded as an ant-like person in the inner courtyard, but now he can easily defeat him. Seeing Xiao Yan knocked an alien Dozuan back with 1 leg, a little surprise flashed in the eyes of the melon-eating people around him. Obviously, he had never expected that this Danhui champion not only had such achievements in medicine refining, but also had such attainments in vindictive cultivation. Looking at Ling Quan with a horrified face, Xiao Yan smiled and said, "Commander Ling Quan, I'm sorry, I'm a little heavier. But next time, I would like to trouble you not to do such stupid things again. After all, there are not many soft-handed people like me." Hearing this, Ling Quan was completely stunned by the anger. It didn't matter if Xiao Yan was invited by his ancient clan. He immediately ordered the Black Annihilation Army team to avenge themselves and wanted to capture the opponent. Looking at the many Black Annihilation Army soldiers pointing their spears at Xiao Yan, the faces of the little medical immortals on the side changed slightly, and the vast vindictiveness in their bodies was also surging quietly. Just as the swords of the 2 sides were rattling, they were stopped by the 5 commanders of the Black Annihilation Army, who suddenly rushed down from the city wall. According to Xiao Yan's speculation, the strength of this person in front of him should be much stronger than Ling Quan. If you want to think about it, he should be a strong man with the strength of 3-star Dozuan. However, when the 5 leaders learned from other populations that the black-robed young man in front of them was Xiao Yan, their expressions were startled. Ling Quan on the side also took the opportunity to agree. Yes, he is the Xiao Yan in the lady's mouth. Do you still want him to go in now? Hearing the conversation between the two of them, Xiao Yan was also misty, because looking at this, his name now seems to be a household name among this ancient tribe. And the 5 leaders, after taking a complicated look at Xiao Yan, could only helplessly let the other party leave. After all, Xiao Yan held the invitation of his ancient clan. If he kicked people out like Ling Quan, who had no brains, then he would not be allowed to laugh at his ancient clan's ignorance of etiquette. Mr. Xiao Yan, please, stay in the ancient sanctuary for a few days, and someone will pick you up to the ancient realm. Hearing this, Xiao Yan nodded slightly. Although these 5 leaders also seemed to have a faint hostility to him, they were clearly public and private, far better than Na Ling Quan. But what made Xiao Yan a little puzzled was that this was the first time he had seen this person. But where did his hostility come from? Could it be because of Suner? When he thought of this, Xiao Yan gave a wry smile. It seemed that this trip to the ancient world might not be smooth sailing. However, things were just as he had guessed, because just as Xiao Yan walked past the 5 leaders, the latter hesitated for a moment, then hugged his fists and said, if it's not abrupt, I wonder if I can find a time to have a discussion with Your Excellency, Xiao Yan. I really want to see if you can really match the lady. Xiao Yan, who heard this sentence, also sighed in his heart. Sure enough, he didn't look for an excuse to refuse, but nodded slowly. Because Xiao Yan knew that with Suner's status among the ancient races, as well as this girl's talent and such a stunning face, most of the young Junjie in this ancient race must have some admiration for her heart, and they will also understandably regard Xiao Yan as the most threatening rival. Xiao Yan knew in his heart that there would be an endless stream of challenges like this in the future. But so what? So Xiao Yan took Zhou Yixian and the others and walked slowly into the ancient holy city. Looking at the other parties fading back, there was also a touch of coldness in Ling Chuan's eyes. It's okay for you to hide outside, but since you want to humiliate yourself and come to my ancient clan, then you can only blame you for having eyes and no beads. Your strength is not qualified to be fierce among the younger generation of my ancient clan. Xiao Yan took Zhou Yixian and the others to a manor prepared for him by the ancient clan. I saw that here at this moment, it has already been flooded by many powerful people from all sides. In the center of the manor, there is also a huge ring. While the strong here are waiting, they are here to exchange ideas. Xiao Yan and the others found a place to sit down in a restaurant next to the ring, and then asked the little Dr. Fairy to inquire about the news of the Black Annihilation Army. After all, to come into contact with this ancient tribe now, Xiao Yan naturally wants to know more about them. And this so-called Black Annihilation Army is said to be a gathering place for powerful ancient warriors. So Xiao Yan must have some information about them. At the same time, on top of a misty mountain peak, a woman in a light singy skirt was sitting quietly here. And this person is Suner, who has been separated from Xiao Yan for a long time. Just as the latter closed his eyes quietly, an old figure flashed out and said respectfully to Suner, Miss, Master Xiao Yan has arrived in the ancient holy city. The current young Master Xiao Yan is no longer something that the old man like me can see through. But according to the news I received, Ling Quan, whose strength is in the 1-star Dozuan, can't make a move in his hands. I think Master Xiao Yan's strength is at least in the 4-star Dozuan. In this regard, Ling Ying also exclaimed at his heart. After all, when he was ordered to protect Xiao Yan, the latter was just a small fighter. However, now that it has only been about 10 years, it has reached a point where even he can't see through it. This kind of cultivation speed is really terrifying. Although he has been in a state of retreat over the years, and things from the outside world rarely reach his ears. But even so, Suner knows that Xiao Yan now has a great reputation in this Zhongzhou, because she was Xiao Yan's brother who had always believed in him from beginning to end. But miss, the things you announced in the clan some time ago I'm afraid it will make Master Xiao Yan a little troublesome. I believe him. Hearing this, Linging could only give a wry smile helplessly. It turned out that not long ago, after the proud daughter of the ancient clan had just emerged from retreat, the elders of the ancient clan began to discuss her future marriage. But unexpectedly, they were strongly opposed by Sun Er, and her words made the faces of all the elders present instantly livid. Whether you oppose or support, I like him, and you can't change it. At the same time, in the restaurant at this moment, the little Dr. Fairy who went to inquire about the news of the Black Annihilation Army also returned Shan Shan. According to the latter, the status of the so-called Black Annihilation Army in the ancient race is not low, because their selection conditions are quite demanding, not only need to be absolutely loyal to the ancient race, but also must reach a certain level at a certain age. Under this strict hierarchical division, there are 8 major commanders. Ling Quan, who Xiao Yan and others saw yesterday, and the 5 commanders were 2 of them. It's just that Ling Quan is only ranked 7th. Hearing this, Xiao Yan's eyes narrowed slightly. You must know that the strengths of Ling Quan and the 5 commanders are 1-star and 3-star Dozuan, respectively. In this case, wouldn't the great commander of the Black Annihilation Army have to reach at least 6 stars or even higher? It seems that it is worthy of being an ancient tribe, one of the 8 ancient tribes. And according to Xiao Yixian, Xiao Yan is now extremely unpopular in the eyes of the younger generation of the ancient clan, because Sun Er personally admitted the relationship between the 2 of him at the meeting of the elders. Therefore, many people in the ancient clan now list Xiao Yan as a rival. Seeing Xiao Yixian's appearance of covering his mouth and chuckling, Xiao Yan also gave a wry smile. He didn't expect that this girl was getting bolder and bolder now. However, in Xiao Yan's view, this matter will be said as soon as it is said. After all, the relationship between the 2 of them is always going to be exposed. As for those ancient geniuses, just come and do it. I will definitely educate these guys obediently. However, Xiao Yixian still reminded Xiao Yan that among the 8 major commanders, although most of them were unhappy with him, it was not these people who were the most threatening, but the 4 major commanders. Hearing this, Xiao Yan was also taken aback. According to Xiao Yixian, the real high-level leaders of the Black Annihilation Army, in general, are the 8 major commanders and the 4 major commanders, as well as the 2 true leaders of the Black Annihilation Army, the Black Annihilation King. And these 4 major dynasties, even among the ancient races where geniuses gather, are known as the top geniuses. Although it is far less than the proud daughter of the ancient clan, Sun Er, according to their potential, they must also become the true core figure of the ancient clan in the future. Hearing this, Xiao Yan also felt a little solemn in his heart, because according to his speculation, since the level of this Du Tong is higher than that of the leader, then even the weakest Du Tong should be stronger than that of the great leader. So in this way, isn't the strength of the so-called 4 great capitals similar to that of the 9 heavens in the Soul Hall? Is this so-called fighting emperor bloodline so powerful? At this moment, Xiao Yan really feels some pressure in his heart, because his cultivation speed is already open among his peers. But when compared with the top geniuses of these ancient races, he seems to be slightly weaker. It seems that there are people outside the people, and there is a sky outside the sky. This sentence is really true, and he didn't know whether the so-called 4 capitals were hostile to him. When he thought of this, a cruel color flashed in Xiao Yan's eyes, because now even if the heavenly King Lao Tzu is here, he can't stop the relationship between him and Sun Er. Although today Xiao Yan is only the strength of a 5-star Dozuan, he really has to start, even if he is a 7-star or even 8-star Dozuan powerhouse. He is not afraid at all. So he hopes that these 4 major capitals will be unified, and in the end, he won't really treat him as a soft persimmon. However, in the view of His Holiness Tianhua, although this so-called dirty bloodline was indeed smooth sailing in cultivation, it only stopped before Doshing. Even for ancient races, such as the ancient races, there are many powerful people in their clan, but there are not many people who have truly set foot at the level of fighting saints. because they really want to enter this level. They can only rely on themselves, and the blood of the fighting emperor will become a burden. Therefore, His Holiness Tianhua is more optimistic about Xiao Yan. Maybe when the latter reaches Dosheng, he will make up for these guys, but he can only step in at the Dozuan level. Hearing this, Xiao Yan also nodded slightly. After all, although the duty bloodline is powerful, it is impossible to manufacture this kind of Dosheng powerhouse in large quantities. Otherwise, it would be too rebellious. But while they were talking, the three cold eyes were directly locked on Xiao Yan. And two of the figures were impressively Ling Quan, who was blown away by Xiao Yan's leg that day, and the five-in-chief who wanted to challenge Xiao Yan. Beside them was a young man in a green robe. He is that Xiao Yan? Third brother, he is now well known in Zhongzhou, but now that he comes to my ancient clan, his pride is undiminished. This is not Zhongzhou. Although the young lady may not be worthy of me, at least people of this kind should not have such qualifications. Don't mess around, they are guests after all. Ha ha! Don't worry, everything will be very orderly. As soon as his voice fell, he saw the two figures fighting in the ring below at this moment, and the winner was also determined. With the exit of the two of them, a loud and clear voice immediately resounded. The following players, Yang Hao, the leader of the Black Annihilation Army 3, and Xiao Yan, the champion of the Danwei. Hearing this, Xiao Yan's expression, who was not far away, instantly became gloomy, because now he seemed to have been set aside by others. As soon as these words fell, the originally noisy environment was instantly quieted down. After all, for the names of these two, the people who eat melons around them have heard of them. One is the champion of the Danhui, and the other is the third leader of the ancient Black Annihilation Army. They also really want to see who these two goods will be better. For this sudden scene, Xiao Yan and the others were also stunned. They didn't expect that as soon as they finished speaking, this trouble came to the door. With Xiao Yan's shrewdness, he naturally knew that the other party was afraid that he would back down. So he just resorted to the next method. However, in Xiao Yan's opinion, this is exactly in line with his mind, because Xiao Yan is also trying to make an example of this guy. Since this guy came to the door automatically now, he reluctantly accepted it. Having said that, Xiao Yan's gaze suddenly turned to where Yang Hao was. In this regard, the latter did not have the slightest fear. After all, he was at the peak of the 5-star Dozuan strength. Although Xiao Yan is also a 5-star fighter, he has never failed to fight against opponents of the same level. The 5 commanders on the side saw Yang Hao, who was eager to try, and immediately warned him not to mess around. After all, if the elders knew about this matter, there would definitely be no good fruit for them to eat. But Yang Hao said, "It's just a learning experience. Besides, my ancient clan was originally martial. Isn't it just right to meet friends with martial arts now? Don't worry, I won't embarrass him too much, of course, as long as he knows each other." After that, his figure flashed, and he appeared on the ring in an instant, then looked in the direction of Xiao Yan and said with a smile, "Mr. Xiao Yan, I have heard of the famous name for a long time. I wonder if I can teach today?" Since the 3 commanders insist on doing this, although it is not easy to refuse. As soon as Xiao Yan's voice fell, his figure appeared not far from Yang Hao. In this regard, Xiao Yixian and the others did not stop too much. After all, in their opinion, although Yang Hao is the pinnacle of 5-star Dozuan strength, this kind of strength can't make a big splash in front of Xiao Yan today. Seeing that Xiao Yan didn't even look for an excuse to shirk, the smile on Yang Hao's face became stronger and stronger. He deserves to be the champion of the Danwei. This courage is really admirable. The commander-in-chief will try it himself today. What's so unusual about this Danwei champion? Heaven shatters the claws of Qi. Looking at the opponent's sharp palm wind that tore through the space, Xiao Yan immediately exerted 3,000 thunder movements and avoided them all. Seeing this situation, Yang Hao's eyes were startled at first, and then he sneered. "Good speed, but also try my dragon and snake footwork." Feeling Yang Hao's speed and attack suddenly became sharp, Xiao Yan's eyes narrowed slightly. No wonder this guy is not worried that he will not be able to beat him at all. He, who is also a 5-star fighter, turns out to have so many high-level fighting skills. However, in front of Xiao Yan, who has an unusually large soul power, no matter how ghostly his body is, there is nothing to hide. With every confrontation, Yang Hao's expression will be a little solemn, because he had already used 2 intermediate-level fighting skills. But he had never caused the slightest damage to Xiao Yan, and the latter's calm appearance made his face a little bit uncomfortable. "I don't believe it. You poor boy dare to fight with this commander." Forte Seal. Xiao Yan couldn't be more familiar with this so-called Imperial Seal technique. So the moment he saw Yang Hao about to use it, he threw out a strong wind and slammed it on the opponent's wrist like lightning. When Xiao Yan casually broke the seal, Yang Hao's expression also changed. He didn't expect that this kid would be so clear about the flaws of the Emperor's seal. However, before Yang Hao had time to think, he was severely bombarded by a hot wind on his body. After suffering such a heavy blow, he flew out of the ring spitting blood. Looking at the battle that ended almost instantly, deafening applause broke out in the attic. Xiao Yan, on the other hand, looked at Yang Hao, who was lying on the ground scorched and black, and smiled and said, "I have given in the 3rd commander." Hearing this understatement, Yang Hao suddenly spat out another mouthful of blood, because he never expected that with his 5-star peak strength, he would be so embarrassed to lose in Xiao Yan's hands. At the same time, Ling Quan on the pavilion, as well as the 5 leaders, their faces were full of horror. After all, as people of the same family, they couldn't be clearer about Yang Hao's strength. You must know that the latter holds a lot of powerful fighting skills. And even the Emperor Seal technique has been cultivated to Forte Seal. And there are few opponents of this kind of strength in the same level. However, now he was beaten violently by Xiao Yan, and it was obvious that the latter's true combat power far exceeded the surface. At this moment, Yang Hao, who was struggling to stand up from the ground, looked at Xiao Yan fiercely. Originally, he thought that with the peak strength of 5-star Dizuan and many high-level fighting skills, he wanted to teach the opponent a good lesson. Now he was not only beaten by Xiao Yan, but he was so embarrassed to lose in this public. If this matter is passed back to the ancient world, does he still want his face? So when Yang Hao's head became hot, he shot at Xiao Yan on the stage again. However, at this time, a figure suddenly flashed in front of him, stopped him, and shouted sharply, "Yang Hao, you have lost all the faces of the ancient tribe." The 2 Ling Quan people on the pavilion were also startled when they saw the figure, and immediately a surprise appeared in their eyes, because the figure that suddenly appeared was their 2nd brother, the so-called 2nd leader of the Black Annihilation Army, Lin Shun. After taking a look at Xiao Yan, this person said in a deep voice, "Xiao Yan, are you playing well? It's just a competition to learn from each other. Since you like to learn from each other so much, how about the Commander-in-Chief try it?" Hearing this, Xiao Yan's eyes narrowed slightly. According to his speculation, this person's strength should have reached the level of the 6-star Dozuan. But in Xiao Yan's view, this strength did not have the slightest deterrent. Seeing the atmosphere of saber rattling on the stone platform again, many people in the attic cast their eyes again. It seems that there are some gaps between the young geniuses of the ancient races and Xiao Yan that ordinary people don't know. However, just when everyone thought that the battle was about to break out, they were stopped by an ancient clan elder named Gu Sun, who came suddenly. "Lin Shun, don't mess around. As the host family, you actually embarrassed the guests of the ancient clan in public. What kind of system is this? Don't retreat quickly." Hearing this, Lin Shun didn't dare to fight back. Until now, he also understood that now that this old guy showed up, I'm afraid he won't be able to find his face today. So at the moment, he could only shake his head helplessly, turned and left the place. However, when Lin Shan was by Xiao Yan's side on the way, he warned him, "Those who know each other will leave as soon as possible. Otherwise, they will only humiliate themselves when they enter the ancient realm." Xiao Yan ignored this kind of harsh words, because Xiao Yan believed that when he entered the ancient world, he would definitely teach these people who regarded him as their rivals a good lesson. Looking at Lin Shun, who was far away, Na Gushuan also turned his head to look at Xiao Yan. He said that due to the young lady, The latter should encounter more challenges in the future. So he told Xiao Yan to be mentally prepared. After saying this, Gu Sun turned and walked outside the pavilion, seeing the dragon and tiger fight that was going to start. But it ended so hastily. Many people were a little bit more than enough, but they were helpless.